Welcome to the 905 podcast. I'm your girl, Savanna.
And I'm Charles.
Charles, today on the podcast, we got Kevon Harris. What do you know about him?
6'6", big body guard out of Stephen F. Austin. He's going to be a really interesting player to watch because he is solid. He's kind of, bully. He can shoot it. He can get to the rim. He can handle it a little bit. It's going to be a really dynamic player to watch. One of those almost, I would say, sleeper picks, if you will.
Yeah.
But an interesting one overall.
He averaged like 17 points in his last year at university. He's very versatile. He is a big body, has a big presence on the court, but he's very athletic and quick. He could dunk it. He could shoot it. I've seen him hit you with that step back before. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he's going to bring on the court, but more in particular with this podcast to see who he is as a man. I heard he just had a daughter. I want to get into that. I don't know. What have you heard off the court about him?
Absolutely. Lots of good things. Definitely interested in hearing about fatherhood and how that's changed him. And just, what else he's interested in, right? Who is this man? What is he about? And who is he as a human being, as you said? And so how about we welcome Kivon to the show?
Joining us now on the Raptors 905 podcast, we got Kevon Harris. Kevon, you're outside right now. What you saying?
It's cold out here, man. It's cold out here. I'm happy to be here, though.
Kivon, I would love to show you what I'm looking at outside my window, about the foot of snow and piles of it.
Yeah, I'm definitely not used to that. I'm from Atlanta, so that would be life-changing for me for sure.
I can't believe you said it's cold outside in the bubble. You said that you had to go back in and put pants on because you were wearing shorts before, so it's too cold like that?
Man, it's cold. And it's windy too, so the wind gonna make it even colder.
I don't know. I don't really believe you. I don't really believe that it's that cold.
It's really because y'all in the snow, so y'all in a different type of cold. Also, I'm from Atlanta, so I'm not used to that. So I can't even feel what y'all feeling, to be honest.
Yeah. We're looking at like the green trees behind you, the blue skies, and everything's so bright.
Nice. Yeah, it looked nice. Yeah, it's cool. It's a nice scenery though, for sure.
Okay.
Kivon, let's dive in. We want to get to know you a little bit. I want all the 905 fans to get to know you a little bit. But I'm gonna start with, in November you had a special delivery. Tell us about that. As a father myself with two young daughters, tell us about what that experience was like for you. How special is that for you?
Man, one of the best days of my life, for sure. It was crazy because I was in the hospital on draft day, and it was just a surreal feeling. And I really wasn't even worried about nothing but her. I was trying to make sure she got here safe and stuff. So it's been a journey, man. It sucks being here too and not being with her, for sure. Being away from her, that's definitely tough for me, but it's amazing being a father, for sure.
What was that like the birth of your daughter on the same day as draft day? When was she born exactly? Were you getting calls from your agent while at the same time you try to focus on what the doctor's saying? What was happening?
It was crazy. I mean, we was in there, but she came the day after, probably 1:45. So we were just in there, and I was just in there helping, watching the draft, and being here, trying to be supportive and stuff. So it was definitely different. It was something I remember forever, for sure.
Let me tell you, you had your priorities straight, my friend. You were in the right place. You were definitely in the right place. What is her name? And how is she doing?
She actually turned 3 months yesterday, and she's doing good. Her name is Cassidy Renee Harris. She's doing good, man. All we do is FaceTime 29 times a day, and just trying to see her as much as I can.
That's it?
Man, I miss her for sure.
Has she said any words yet?
No, not yet. A little bit of Google Gaga, but that's about it. She screamed at me and stuff like that, but that's about it right now.
What does it mean to you to be a girl dad now?
I feel like it changed my perspective on things, you know, me being a father in general, but having a girl, I just look at some things differently. I feel like for sure. She's just 3 months, so I know as she get older, it's gonna grow me up in a lot of ways.
Yes, I know exactly what you're saying without you having to say it. And it
Yeah,
does, and it will. And the faster you adapt, the better for you.
yeah,
But I'm sure you have a beautiful one that you're always going to want to protect. So
absolutely.
that's definitely cool. Now, you're out in the bubble playing basketball. Talk to us about, take us sort of back to the beginning. When did basketball start for you?
Um, Basketball started for me when I was young. You know, I played football, baseball, basketball, but as I got older, I kind of fell in love with basketball. But I would say I was a late bloomer. Like I kind of started taking basketball serious probably like when I got to high school, kind of like my freshman summer, going to my sophomore season. I realized that I wanted to go somewhere with the game, and my work ethic took me to where I am now.
I read an article where you said that you almost wish you started a little sooner or took it seriously a little bit sooner because you feel like you might have been a bit farther. But I mean, how much sooner do you think you could have, been serious about it? What age, or do you think you should have maybe dedicated yourself more, and how much farther do you think you really could have gone? Because I mean, you still have a very impressive career just getting to where you are right now.
Absolutely. That just shows you the ceiling, you know what I'm saying, that I see myself in. I feel like, the sky's the limit for me. But I feel like just I could have started in middle school and stuff like that. Where I grew up, I kind of started playing basketball in the park in the back, and I didn't even really start training until high school and stuff like that. So I feel like if I would have started me now, just looking back and talking to kids now that's training when they 8 and 9. Like I got a little brother that's 8, and he like, yeah, I want to get to it. I feel like if I had that mindset and start early, like, who knows where I could be today. And I'm in a great start, and I plan on even going farther for sure. But I feel like if I would have started earlier, I even would have been even deeper into it than I am now.
You're right, Kevon. If you started when like you were still in diapers, who knows?
Hey, I'm telling you, that's that work ethic.
Kivon, is there a moment that was like what was the switch? Like, how did you know, okay, hey, I'm pretty good at this and I could make something of this? What was that? Was there a specific moment, or was there someone you were looking to? Like, obviously your little brother's looking to you. How did that work out?
It wasn't. I wouldn't say it was a specific moment. Like I actually started playing varsity my freshman year of high school, and we was like really talented. But I was just like, just a hustle player. You know what I'm saying? Just wanted every ball, and just one of those players teams did not like to go against. So I'm like, man, I could play varsity. Just doing this, and I could take this game a long way. If I just put in the work and keep going and not listen to everybody saying you can't do this, you can't do that. I feel like that motivated me, especially coming where I'm from. Not a lot of people just make it out in the professional world, especially playing sports. So, it drove me, I guess. I just was self-motivated.
Go back a bit. What do you mean where I'm from? Talk to me. Where are you from? Let us know. Like, what was
I'm
that like
from
growing up?
I'm from East Atlanta. I'm from Ellenwood, Georgia. Um, just I grew up in obviously the east side of Atlanta, and I was the only child at the time. Like I told you, I have an 8-year-old little brother now. I'm 23 years old. Um, and I feel like, I kind of grew myself up in that aspect. My mom and dad was always working, and I was at home and stuff. And I was always going to the park. I was 10 years old, 12 years old, walking to the back of the neighborhood with the grown men, with playing out there. I feel like that grew me up quick, with the physicality of the game, and it kind of made me shape my game a little bit to where I am now. And like, I don't know, I feel like that definitely had a big part of it for sure.
When did you realize that, basketball, this could be a thing? Like, was it like when you're in the park, did somebody say something to you? Or was it in the gym? Like, he's nice. His game is nice. Or when did you realize?
That I was nice or that I wanted to take it serious?
Well, both, really.
Okay.
Clearly, he already knew he was nice.
Yeah, right? He's like, I was nice from day one.
Yeah, you gotta have that confidence from day one, even though if your game ain't up there. But like I said earlier, I started in high school and coming in freshman year and just seeing thinking that I was good enough. But I mean, obviously I was good to play varsity, to make the varsity team. But just seeing a lot of players, we had a good high school team at the time, and I'm like, I'm nowhere near where I need to be. So that I feel like that drove me and just to keep going with the basketball, and I fell in love with it. And knowing I was nice, just putting in the work over the years, man. The work gave me confidence. Just all that work I was putting in. Like I'm telling you, like in high school, I used to be in the gym. Like I'm not just bullshitting. Like I'm sorry, but I'm for real about like the work that because I was in the gym like 6:30, 7 a.m. And that's when the buses used to come in and used to all go into the gym before we went into classes. And I used to be on the Vertimax. I'm talking about like 7:30 at least 4 times out of 5 days during the week. And people used to be like, bro, what are you doing too much, bro? Like, you better make it. Like they're like, man, you really want this. All right, okay. You better do it, man. Like I'm telling you, I was on the shooting gun, like the whole gym full, and I'm on the shooting gun, shooting pull-ups and stuff like that. Like, and I felt like that took me a long way. Even today, I still get messages about that and Instagram requests and a whole bunch of stuff. Like you really made it. Like, damn, all that work you was doing, like it's paying off, man. It's crazy. And I look back at it and I appreciate those moments and me being self-motivated at a young age. It took me a long way. So I would say the work gave me the confidence and just knowing I was nice. Got to college. Started my freshman year in college. About 20% in the season, and me just realizing my potential. I feel like that just raised my confidence to another level.
You were one of those that played all 4 years, right? Talk about your selection. How did you decide to go to Stephen Austin? Like, what was that process like? Were you highly recruited at that time, or talk about that?
So at the time, I would say in high school, I wasn't really academically motivated, I would say. And, I feel like I could have did better with that looking back, but I feel like I'd have had a grades and I didn't want to go to JUCO at the time. So I went to prep school. I went to prep school in Florida and Daytona Beach area, Orlando area. And my prep school was called DME Sports Academy. I went out there and I had a great season, breakout season. I ended up with probably about 20 plus offers. And it came down pretty much to like LSU, Texas A&M, Texas Arlington, and Utah State and SFA. And really, SFA came last minute because at A&M, Coach Keller, he was coaching there at the time. He was the head assistant coach at A&M. That was my head coach at SFA, and he was recruiting me and stuff. And he was a real cool dude, man. And I guess we just grew our relationship, and then he ended up leaving and getting the head coaching job at Stephen F. Austin. So, and then I really wanted to go to my dream school, LSU, and the coach Al Pinkins, he was a great dude, man. Came. We had a great relationship. Came to the house a couple times, this and that, and I was like, man, I think I'm gonna go here. Boom, they all separated. The coaches all left. So I'm like, damn, what's going on? So I was like, you know what? Me and Coach Keller had a great relationship, and then all the assistant coaches, Coach Wade, Coach Cox, we started growing our relationship. And my assistant coach at Stephen F. Austin, he was the assistant at Southern Miss, and he was one of the offers I had. And he just was calling and showing hella interest and stuff like that. And I appreciate that, but I didn't want to go to Southern Miss at all. And he ended up going to Stephen F. Austin with Coach Keller. So I knew all the coaches. And we all had a great relationship. Coach Wade, he came to the house a couple times, and my family loved them. And I just liked the environment and the culture they had there. So I ended up going to Stephen F. Austin.
What was your time like when you got to Stephen F. Austin, and you were playing, you're starting, playing for some coaches that you believed in. They clearly believed in you. So what describe what a university was like for you?
It was dope, man. It's a college town. It's in a city called Nacogdoches, Texas. And so it's a little different, coming out the A. And I was like, man, I don't mind leaving the A, going somewhere far. And I ended up going to Texas, and I came with open mind and just willing to see a new culture and Texas and stuff. So it was cool. I accepted them with open arms, and they accepted me. And they showed a lot of love, especially like on my visit and stuff. It's crazy. Got out there. It was dope. It's a college town, but it's not a lot to do. So I was able to stay focused and just focus on basketball. That's another reason I wanted to go there, because I wanted to make the NBA. And it was cool, man. It was a party school too. So I mean, my freshman year, I had a blast there. I'm not gonna lie, I had a blast, and I locked in after that. I was in the gym, but after the gym, I was having a good time.
Whoa. Now, I'm not gonna put anybody on blast or anything, but
to throw y'all that one.
I like how you snuck in the subtle, well, I had a good time.
Yeah, it was cool. It was a good time though, for sure. Like the coaches, they kept me on the right track, and like I said, I was always self-motivated, even though I was away from home. It's easily to get distracted for sure, but I took advantage of the opportunity and the time I was there to get better and, grow myself as a man.
You're living your best life. That's what I got from that.
Yeah. I'm blessed. And I met my girl there too, for sure. My freshman year. So, we grew that relationship too. So that was dope.
How's she doing with the baby and everything?
She's doing good, getting used to motherhood, it's new to both of us, and loving every moment of it.
Such a beautiful thing. So speaking of that, on draft night, you're having a baby, you're trying to figure that out. Take us through your draft process, because obviously this is different than what you would have expected with COVID and everything. Tell us a little bit about what that was like.
It was crazy, man. It's the smallest draft process ever, man. And because I came out my junior year too. I put my name in the draft my junior year. I was ready to leave, to be honest. I was ready to get going and get my professional year started. But so I definitely know the difference between a regular draft process and this. It was 10 times longer, and I feel like I took advantage of the opportunity too. I was able to train in Atlanta, of course, and I trained in Dallas a lot too. And my agency is based out of Dallas, so I was out there a lot training with Tyler Ralph, and I got a lot better, mentally and physically, playing with some good pros out there, and elevated my game, and I took advantage of it. So it was cool. It was cool. Just long.
I heard. Go ahead.
Well, draft night. So you're torn between the two, not really, obviously having your priorities in the right place, but talk about from the basketball side, the emotions of draft night. What was that like for you?
Of course, I definitely wanted to get my name called. I had interviews with probably half the NBA at the time. So, I was very confident on that. And I felt like I had a good chance of getting drafted, in the late second I was there. But, it didn't work out. So I didn't hold my head down. I kind of just, had to keep moving. There was nothing I could do at the time. So I just kind of, look at the bright side. My daughter is here. So like, hey man, I'm gonna get a job. Like I hoop, that's what I do. So I wasn't really worried about that. I just kept my head high and stayed prayed up, kept faith, and just, my attention was at my daughter at the time anyway. And my agent, he's been great, man. So I was confident that I was gonna get a job for sure. And I ended up signing to the Lakers on the Exhibit 10 contract. And then that was crazy because with COVID protocol, that kind of went downhill. I was out there for a few weeks, and then some stuff happened with COVID. So they waived all the rookies even before training camp started. So that was kind of like, damn, like can't catch a break. Like it's crazy.
One of the guys that you're playing with now, was he there?
Trey.
Yeah.
Trey, that's right. It was Trey.
Twinkle. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
He was out there too. And I remember one time we actually just got the call, like literally like from my agents, I guess around the same time, because I'm coming in the hotel talking to my agent, like, man, what? Like, what? What's going on? And I'm walking by and I seen him, like I've never seen Trey single play, I've never seen Trey, but I knew how he looked after we signed and stuff, of course, and seeing Lakes page and all the love and stuff. And yeah, so I walked by and I'm like, that's crazy, man. I was like, all right, man, I'll talk to you, bro. I was upset. I walked by, I'm like, damn, man, Tristan. He was like, you got that call too? And I'm like, hey, man, it was crazy. So we kind of was like, man, it's crazy. We sat there and talked to so it was wild though, but he's a good dude for sure. And then I guess that's just, what happened. That's a summary of 2020.
So how does the Raptor situation come up then? Because that's next. How does that come up?
Well, found out that they was in the G League, of course, the Lakers. And so, the next step was trying to figure out, where I'm gonna go now, where I'm gonna play now. And I definitely didn't want to go overseas when my little mama just coming in. So I'm like, man, like, what's gonna happen? God gonna have something. I'm trying to keep my faith high. I know my agent working. You doing everything you can and making calls. And I'm still getting calls and stuff like that. And the draft process come up, and the G League draft, and it's coming up, and they solidify a date and stuff. So you're like, man, like we gonna put your name in there. Like you've been getting a lot of insurance, of course. And at the time, me and my agent was talking about going overseas. Like I had a couple offers. I had one from Maccabi Tel Aviv, one from Ukraine, and I was thinking about going to Ukraine. I don't know what I was thinking. I'm just thinking about it now. I'm looking back like, damn, y'all talking about snow. I was really gonna be, I was gonna be adjustment for real. But was talking about that, and then I got a call. He was like, man, I actually thought I was gonna go to Memphis. Actually, they was talking Memphis calling like, yo, we got number 2 pick. Like, we taking you. So I'm like, okay, like whatever happens. Especially with me going through the draft process already, with a lot of people saying stuff. So I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, like we'll see. Mm-hmm. And then draft process came. Draft close to draft day, and then like the day before, a couple days before, or was it the day before? I can't remember. He was like, man, the Raptors love you. They call and want you, this and that. You free, saw you free. They're gonna take you, especially if the Grizzlies don't take you at number 2, because they had number 2 and number 16. And I think it was between me and Freddie Gillespie. I don't know how to say his name, and they was pretty much like, we need center, but we want you, this and that. So I'm like, okay. So it was between them, the Grizzlies, the Raptors, and OKC or something like that. So I'm like, okay, wherever I land, I'm gonna be happy. I'm gonna give them all I got, and I'm just ready to get going. I'm just ready to play at this point. Like I'm just ready to get on the team, get going. Then draft day came, and I got picked up, and the draft wasn't like on TV or nothing. It wasn't no. So I had no service at the time for some reason. Like my family at the house, and like our Wi-Fi was tripping. So like, I keep refreshing. And I'm like, did I get picked up? Like my agent called me like, hey, you going to Toronto? I'm like, what? What happened? Like, I didn't even know. So it was kind of shocking. And I was happy, and I'm happy to be here, and I'm blessed and extremely grateful.
What was the emotions like? Because I'm sure you're aware of the Toronto Raptors' reputation in the social change aspect when it comes to BLM. What was the emotions like knowing that you're going to be a part of an organization that really prioritizes that in the league?
It was great, especially everything going on in this world. That's definitely something that I feel should be taken seriously. And I'm proud to be on the team that's definitely taking that serious for sure. We had a meeting about that yesterday, would it be a Black History Month? So, it's definitely good. And I feel like they're taking the right steps and doing the right thing.
How has all of that been with you as far as, COVID hitting, the social movement happening? You're 23 years old, you're expecting a child, you're trying to get drafted. Like there's so much happening. How have you navigated this year as far as just personally?
Overwhelming, man. Overwhelming. And it's part of it though, it's a summary of 2020, like I said. So I know I wasn't the only one going through a whole bunch. So, that kind of kept my mind at ease. Like, you're not the only one. So I just kept that mindset and just tried to get with everything, go through everything with faith and know that everything was going to work out for the best at the end of the day. And, I just moved by faith the whole year and just stay prayed up and try to do the right things and know something good was going to happen to me.
Do you think that really was an effect, or, do you think that really affected the way that everything went down in terms of draft night, the original like NBA one, and like your decisions in like, university? Okay, do I have to declare now? Because like kind of everything's happening at once. The world's kind of going crazy.
Absolutely, man. It had a big impact, huge impact, especially on my senior year. Having a great season, we like undefeated, damn near in conference, and we on the way to I'm talking about walking into the tournament, the game, finna get warm, locked in. They're like, yo, we gotta leave, cancel the game, cancel the tournament, everything. I'm like, what? And I'm just thrilled. And then one by one, everything just start crumbling. The combine gone. The Portsmouth. I got invited to Portsmouth early in the season, so I'm looking forward to that all year. Just ready to prove myself. Me coming from a mid-major, felt like I was always slept on. So that drove me too. I'm ready to prove myself and get going. And everything got canceled, man. So I'm like, yo, what's gonna happen? What's going on? And it was definitely overwhelming, and just had to walk by faith, not by sight, because, I didn't know what tomorrow was going to hold, so I just tried to keep getting better and keep controlling what I can control.
Yeah, that's a good motto to have. Now you are in the bubble, you made it there, and your story is far from written. I always feel like, in 20 years from now, when you look back on all this craziness, you'll be telling your daughter about it. She'll be like, really, did that happen? And she'll be laughing at you because you won't know how to use that latest technology or whatever it is. And so the bubble experience, talk about it. How's it been? How are you processing just this next challenge in your story?
I've been adjusted. I would say, getting used to training camp stuff. It was a quick training camp. Everything was condensed. So, that was a little different, and it was my first training camp. So it was going to be different anyway, and just getting adjusted and getting acquainted and everything. But it's been dope though. The staff has been great, and everybody's been growing closer. We've been playing game by game. I ended up kind of spraining my wrist in training camp, actually just falling, trying to catch myself on my shooting hand. And I kind of just been trying to play through that, shoot through that, and kind of backfired, my wrist ended up swelling up and stuff. So I've been in the splint for the last week or so. So, I just got out the splint pretty much yesterday and started working out and stuff. So I'm just ready to get back on the court and help the team and just get back going, and my days is 10 times longer when I'm not playing for sure. And
how's it feeling?
It's doing a lot better. I got back in the gym yesterday, started back shooting and stuff. So it's getting back better, but it's still messing with me. But I'm ready to play, but I also want to be healthy at the same time. So, it's getting there for sure. And hopefully I'll be ready to play Sunday.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, like tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I know like it's such a balance as an athlete to like, okay, you want to contribute to your team. You want to help them win. And I know that you guys seen a few losses, and I'm sure it's going through your mind, man, if I grabbed a rebound, if I hit that shot, blah, 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 like, it's frustrating. Have you had to,
especially with, it being a condensed game. We only got like 15 games, and like every game, damn, like Now we only got 9 games. Now we only got 8. I'm like, damn, I need to get right. I need to get back. You know, I'm ready, but I don't want to come back and then I'm hurting still, and then it mess up even more because that's how it ended up getting worse in the first place. Me trying to just play through it, thinking ibuprofen and ice was gonna do it, and it just me kept using it, it kept getting worse. So you know, I'm just trying to prevent that and be 100%, man, because I know I can definitely help and impact on both ends of the court for the team, and you know, I just want to get healthy so I can do that.
Absolutely. Having watched your, your college footage, you average like 17 points a game. You know, you're athletic. You have like a big presence. It looks like you could almost guard 1 through 5, being 6'6" as well. So like,
Yep.
you know, what I think that when you do get on the court, you're going to make an immediate impact, especially being healthy, because we did see you in the first game,
Right.
and we didn't see you after that. So that, I mean, it makes sense now why that was.
Yeah, right. Definitely, you know, I'm just ready to get back healthy and get back on the court. You know, that's what I came out here to do. And so that's definitely heavy on my mind all day, every day. And just trying to get 100% so I can help the team, you know, and so I don't be discouraged to shoot the ball with my wrist hurting and stuff like that. I just want to be healthy and get back on the floor, man, for sure.
You can have mine. I don't need this. You can have mine.
Savanna can shoot it too, so
Thanks, Charles.
You might be okay. I have a question about the mentality. I think that's interesting because you kind of said it. You know, the games are winding down. Your focus here was to obviously help a team win, but prove, right, that you can play at that level, at the next level. How are you balancing that mentally? Like, what's that like? You know, that process of going through, knowing that it might feel like time is running out, even though, believe me, you got time. What is that like for you?
You know, it's been up and down, you know, but definitely just try to hold my head out for sure. You know, just this is temporary, and you know, just like I said, just trying to get it better. You know, so it don't impact me in the long run, and I don't want to come back and it's hurting me, and I can't even produce how I want to do. So you know, I want to get that 100%. I want to get on the floor, but you know, it's a balance. You know, it's a level of balance with it, and just the whole thing is just keeping your mental good and just staying ready. You know, just getting back healthy at the same time. You know, I don't really get injured a lot, so especially this on my shooting hand, so it's impacting my game for sure. So I'm just trying to take it and go by it the right way.
I mean, there's a few ways of looking at it. Like you could rush to come back and then, you know, maybe not be 100% there yet. Or you could have a solid, like maybe even if it's just 5 games, like solid contributions in 5 games with the playoffs coming up ahead, that where you really show out, right? So yeah. I hear you. It's a tough one.
It is, you know, and that's kind of how I was. Like, man, I'm here to play. And, you know, it happened, and I'm kind of just like holding back because I don't want to tell the trainers this and that because I don't want him to, oh, damn, yeah, your wrist is bad. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I kind of was just icing in and stuff and just trying to play through it, you know, just trying to play through it and thug it out, you know, with my wrist. But it kind of was, it was hard to because it's on my shooting wrist, you know. So every time I flip my wrist, it would hurt. And, you know, like I would leave shots short and stuff. And after 10 minutes of shooting, got to a point after 10 minutes of shooting, I would feel it, and then my hand would get stiff, like my wrist would get stiff. So I'm like, yo, I gotta get this right. Like I can't do it. You know what I'm saying? Then they'd be looking at me like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's going on? You know, so I definitely have to open up and talk about that.
The one thing, yeah, no, I appreciate that. Thanks for sharing that, man. You know, the one thing that I'm excited about when I watch the 905 is that they really play all the guys
Hard.
like they play hard. And we see, even though some guys get more minutes than others, we usually see everybody play. And so what do you, when you do come back, when you do enter healthy, what role do you think you're going to come in on this team with?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know because, you know, coming back from an injury, of course, I want to ease into it. But, you know, hopefully I'm on the court as much as I can to impact and be able to play and get into rhythm quick. And, you know, just got to stay ready when my name is called and be able to produce.
I got a series of hard-hitting questions for you, okay? You ready?
What's going on?
All right. First one. When you
hit me
step
with some
on the
rapid
floor,
fire?
No,
Oh,
not
okay.
yet, not yet, not yet. Just hard hitting, like the
I
Oprah
suck at
style, the
those.
Oprah style question. First
Okay.
question. When you step on the floor, what's on your feet? What are you wearing?
I would say this season I've been wearing KDs a lot. I like not KDs, Kyrie's. I'm tripping. Kyrie's a lot. I like Kyrie's. Came here with a couple. Got a couple cents. So I mean, I like the Kyrie's the most and some Kobe's, but Kobe's been so hard to get, so I ain't even really been able to get some. And I got a couple pair, but I used them all pretty much the whole pre-draft. So I would kind of just want to break in some more, but I would say Kyrie's for sure. I like Kyrie's.
Question number 2. You ready for this? You got to the bubble, or before you got to the bubble, you packed up, your family, kissed everybody, said goodbye, but you had one thing you had to bring that you could not leave home without. What was
PS4.
it? PS4?
I'm gonna say the PS4. I'm gonna go with that, especially in this hotel room. Yeah.
What are you playing on that PS4?
Play Call of Duty, Warzone. I like Madden, of course. Play NBA a little bit, but I don't know. I feel like I play ball enough, so I don't play that as much. But I would say Call of Duty is my favorite right now.
Do you guys play? Do you within the team play against each other at Call of Duty?
We'll play against each other, but we play with each other sometimes for sure,
Okay.
for sure. But I play with a lot of people outside of the bubble too. I see them every day, all day. So
True, true.
I play with a lot of my people too.
Do you play against or with other players in the bubble as well?
Sometimes, yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Especially with Madden, yeah, definitely.
Love it, love it. And you ready? Question number 3. Who did you look up to growing up from a basketball perspective? Who was the player that you said, wow, I want to play like them? And now that you're sort of moving on, who is the player that you want to most play against?
I would say, a player that motivated me, of course, is LeBron James. Not to say, I didn't want to play like him, but that's somebody who I definitely idol this game for sure. And somebody who game I really liked, and I felt like I could play like growing up a little bit. Like I would say Lance Stevenson. Like I like his game. Like I like his demeanor on the court. Regardless if he had 5 points or 20, like I felt like his presence was felt on the court at all times. Like he gonna talk, he gonna get in your face, he gonna mess with your head. And I kind of felt like that's dope, and I definitely like watching him play growing up.
That's sick. That's sick. So he's your child. Is he also your childhood idol, or is that somebody different?
I ain't gonna say a child idol, but I would say LeBron is a childhood idol for sure. I like LeBron a lot and what he brings to the game on and off the court. I feel like he's definitely a big time idol for me. But Lance Stevenson is somebody I really want to play in the league for sure. And he's not in the league right now, but hopefully we'll get there at the same time.
So let me ask you this. Excuse me, 5 years from now, what are we saying about you? What's the narrative? What's the story about your game, where you're at? How do you write it? And you're going to write it over the next 5 years, but I'm the old guy sitting with my daughter talking about Kivon. I talked to him one day. Got to meet him. What am I saying?
Hopefully, you talk about me as a person, not just me on the court. I don't want to be idolized as who I am as a basketball player. I feel like a lot of people tend to do that especially with being a professional in the sport and stuff. So I would say definitely with basketball, though. Hopefully I'm in the NBA and contributing, living the best life. Being able to take care of my family, getting them out of East Atlanta for sure, and being a great father, being right there with my daughter, having the best relationship with her, and a great man for my woman and for my family and all that. I would say that.
I love to hear that, man. I love to hear that. What do you know about Toronto or Mississauga, the city that you're playing for right now? Has Stauskas told you anything?
Not too much. I don't know too much. I'm learning by the day, having conversation with teammates and coaches and stuff. No, it's cold. I know that much. I know it's cold for real. That's maybe a little bit more, but I can, nothing off the muscle I can say, I guess.
Other than it's cold, what's the first thing that comes to mind when you think about Toronto?
Good culture. I would say hard working. Just definitely hard working, a hard working program, and a good organization for sure.
Okay. Well, Kivon, what are your expectations on the court when you get back out there for the end of the season?
Expectations, help the team win, man. Whatever I got to do to help the team win, to go get 10 boards, 20 points, or 5 steals, or whatever I can do to help the team win. That's my focus at the end of the day, and that's what I'm trying to hustle and get back for sure.
Well, we didn't ask about the Ignite team. What have been your thoughts so far on those young guys? You played 4 years at college. These guys haven't played. They're playing their first professional games post high school. What's been your thoughts so far? If you've had a chance, you guys obviously played them, but what's been your thoughts?
I feel like they're doing a good job with them. The organization Ignite. I feel like they've been molding in the right way. And regardless of them coming out of high school, they've been playing USA for a minute, USA basketball, and playing with a lot of good basketball players. So I feel like it translates, with the season they having now. And, I feel like they're doing a good thing over there. And they got some good veterans like my guy, Jared Jack over there, and, helping molding them too. So I feel like they're doing the right thing, going in the right direction.
Also, I have to ask a hard-hitting question, Charles Kissy style. What are you listening to on your playlist?
A little bit of everything. It depends on the mood. I love trap music, especially coming out the A. That's heavy on the playlist. So I like hip hop. I like R&B. I got a little old soul in me. Kind of grew up with my grandmother a little bit, so I love old school music. I randomly cut on some old school, and that's about it. I like a little bit of everything.
Are you in charge of the aux cord or hooking up the music in the locker room?
Nah, I think who does that? I don't know who does that actually. Actually, they actually asked us, like our top 3-4 songs, and we put that in, and then they kind of just playlist that, So they get a little taste of everybody.
Is there anybody that you're kind of hanging out with on the team?
I would say the most GP. That's my guy. We've been growing a relationship for sure, and good people. Sure, that's my guy.
Nice.
With his experience in the league, are you like taking notes? Has he been able to sort of help you manage this time? I would say for sure. I came with an open mind. New place, new team, new all that. So I came with an open mind, trying to pick all my teammates' brains, and Nick Stauskas and Matt Mooney and GP, a lot of players, whenever I find a time, we talk about basketball, and, I like to talk about outside the court. I like to talk about life and, stuff you're doing outside the court. I feel like that's big interest me for sure. Definitely. Like I said, man, like 2 years ago, I would have never thought I'd be, doing stuff like that. I feel like my daughter definitely grew me up, and I feel like I'm definitely maturing as a man.
Go ahead.
If you weren't playing basketball right now and not another sport, what would you be doing?
I would be making a podcast, man. I'm trying to get that going now. I want to get into podcasts, and I'll be getting into real estate. I'll be doing a lot of stuff, man. I got a lot of stuff up my sleeve that, I'm gonna get going soon. It's just the beginning. So I would say those things, and, just trying to inspire the next person.
Well, this is some great practice you got going on right now.
Yeah, for sure. I do a couple couple things. I get on podcasts every now and then. You know, a lot of people be asking me to get on podcasts, so I'm not new to this.
You got to keep putting that out in the universe. So I think we know a few people might be able to help you with that podcast thing.
All right, I'm gonna hold y'all to that now. Not call.
Untitled League. Yeah, put all of that out in the universe, because people are going to be listening to this, and I think what's beautiful is that you understand that there's more than just basketball out there for you.
Absolutely, man.
You're more than just a player. So that's a big thing to know, I think, at 23, as you still have your eyes locked on your dreams of playing in the NBA, knowing that there's more than just the NBA for you.
Way more.
You're not gonna be playing when you're 65. Man,
ain't gonna be bouncing that ball forever. The game could be taken away from you like that, man. So I cherish every moment on the court, but also getting other things going outside of the court, and just me as a man, as a father, and all that.
Yeah, that's gonna keep you grounded for sure.
For sure, it keep you level-headed, so you just don't weigh your life off of how you playing basketball or how you contributing on the court. I feel like a lot of players and always heavy on them, and I'm a victim of it too, for sure. Especially in college and stuff, growing up, definitely a victim of it. But me growing up and maturing, and just realizing that it's more than just ball, in life.
When you say victim of, what do you mean? Victim of like the pressure, or just focusing on basketball?
Not pressure, just in terms of letting basketball impact my everyday mood, or what I'm saying, like I would have a bad game in college, and so say we play at 12 or 3 p.m. and I have a bad game. That whole day, I'm kind of like, damn, you know what I'm saying? I'm in the gym after for an hour or so, and I'm kind of just like, you know what I'm saying? Just it's sitting in my head like, damn, and that's that competitiveness in me, that's gonna be with everything. But I feel like, it definitely weighed heavy on me, whether I played good or bad. And as I got older, it started getting better with that.
It's a beautiful thing. I actually wrote about this, like, your identity being tied to the game, and that helps create some of that pressure, right? Your who you are is tied to that orange round ball, and you've been able to separate that, which is pretty special. I have one last question for you. And this is more, I guess, for your daughter. And so in 10 years or in 20 years or 15 years, your daughter's going to say, you're going to tell your daughter, I was on this 905 podcast once. And she's going to say, yeah, whatever. And you're going to say, no, listen. What's the message that you send to her right now?
Damn, that's deep. You don't hit me
right? Hard hitting. What are you going to say to her? Listen, it's not one line, because you're going to say many things.
You saved the best for last.
You can say, hey, I told you, or whatever you want. What are you saying to your daughter right now?
I mean, I would say, just keep going. I would have never thought that I would even be in this predicament that I'm in now, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, even 2 years ago. You know what I'm saying? You just got to just keep going. Don't ever let nobody doubt you. And, even the ones that do, use it as motivation, and just stay motivated. You know what I'm saying? Keep going, and whatever you want to do, just strive for it, because you can get it done. You can get it done. I promise you can. And I love you and everything. And I already know you're making me proud, and everything, the whole family.
Touchdown.
There we go.
Touchdown. Home run in the baseball team.
Yo, Charles, I can't top that question. I can't.
Kivon, any final thoughts? We really appreciate your time, my brother. Appreciate it.
I appreciate y'all. Having me, man.
It's been a pleasure to get to know you.
Thank you, man. It's a lot more to go inside, and a lot more to learn. Y'all learn over time. Hopefully y'all have me again.
Absolutely.
Sounds good. I'm gonna hold y'all to that. Help with the podcast too.
Yep, we know somebody.
Okay, sounds good.
Charles, you hit him with the hard question at the very end there. You talked about what message would he give his daughter in like 15 years from now?
Listen, I warned him the hard-hitting questions were coming. I set him up with some softballs, but he hit the last one out of the park. Again, really interesting to hear that he's already at 23 years old, who's been immersed in sport his whole life, has already started to separate himself, from not from the game in a bad way, but just the identity piece. He understands who he is. He's really figuring that out and growing into being a father. Like, what a beautiful thing.
Absolutely, like so composed, so grounded. He has his head on straight with, his priorities with basketball, but first and foremost, fatherhood, but then also thinking already, what's beyond the court? What can I do outside that can make an impact in society and in my own life? So I appreciate his thoughts on that. I'm looking forward to see what he's going to do in the court. And it's interesting because he kind of let us in on, what happened. Like he hurt his wrist. That's why we haven't been seeing him as much so like this season. But I'm happy that, he's going to be back on the court now and balling out.
Yeah, and again, and I've used the term sleeper pick. I feel like, I called it. Some of the staff will know, the 905 staff will know I'm good with my sleeper pick calls. And, I feel like he's one to watch. He's going to be one that, you may not hear a whole lot about right away, but, keep an eye on him.
Exactly. Thank you guys, the listeners, for tuning in to another episode of your 905 podcast.